The Vaishnava therefore marks his body with temples of Vishnu. He first marks a Tilaka temple on the abdomen, then on the chest, then between the collarbones, then on the forehead, and gradually he marks the top of the head. The Brahma Randra. The 13 temples of Tilaka marked on the body of a Vaishnava are known as follows. On the forehead is the temple of Lord Keshava. On the belly is the temple of Lord Narayana. On the chest is the temple of Lord Mahadeva. And on the throat, between the two collarbones, is the temple of Lord Govinda. On the right side of the waist is the temple of Lord Vishnu. On the right arm, the temple of Lord Madhusudana. And on the right side of the collarbone, the temple of Lord Trivikrama. Similarly, on the left side of the waist is the temple of Lord Vamanadeva. On the left arm, the temple of Sridhara. On the left side of the collarbone, the temple of Rishikesa. On the upper back of the temple called Padmanabha. And on the lower back of the temple called Damodara. On the top of the head is the temple called Vasudeva. This is the process of meditation on the Lord's situation in the different parts of the body. But for those who are not Vaishnavas, great sages recommend meditation on the bodily concept of life, meditation on the intestines, on the heart, on the throat, on the eyebrows, on the forehead, and then on the top of the head. Some of the sages in the discipline cessation from the great saint Aruna meditate on the heart because the super soul stays within the heart along with the living entity. This is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita, 15th chapter, wherein the Lord states, I am situated in everyone's heart.
As a part of devotional service, Vaishnavas protect the body for the service of the Lord. But those who are gross materialists accept the body as the self. They worship the body by the yogic process of meditation on the different bodily parts, such as Manipuraka, Dahara, Hridaya, gradually rising to the Brahmarandra on the top of the head. The first-class yogi, who has attained perfection in the practice of the yoga system, ultimately passes through the Brahmarandra to any of the planets in either the material or the spiritual worlds. How a yogi can transfer himself to another planet is vividly described in the second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. In this regard, Sukadeva Goswami has recommended that the beginners worship the Virat Purusha, the gigantic universal form of the Lord. One who cannot believe that the Lord can be worshipped with equal success in the deity or archa form, or who cannot concentrate on this form, is advised to worship the universal form of the Lord. The lower part of the universe is considered the feet, and the legs of the Lord's universal form. And the middle part of the universe is considered the navel or the abdomen of the Lord, and the upper planetary systems such as Janakaloka and Maharloka are the heart of the Lord. And the topmost planetary system, the Brahmaloka, is considered the top of the Lord's head. There are different processes recommended by great sages according to the position of the worshipper, but the ultimate aim of all meditation and yogic process is to go back home, back to Godhead. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, anyone who reaches the highest planets, the abode of Krishna, or even the Vaikuntha planet, never has to come down again this miserable material condition of life. The Vedic recommendation, therefore, is that one make the lotus feet of the Vishnu the target of one's effort. Tat Vishnu Paramam Padam. The Vishnu planets or Vishnu Loka are situated above all the material planets, and these Vaikuntha planets are known as Sanhatan Dham. And they are eternal. They are never annihilated, not even by the annihilation of this material world. The conclusion is that if a human being does not fulfill the mission of his life by worshipping the Supreme Lord and does not go back home, back to Godhead, it is to be understood that he is breathing just like a blacksmith bellows, living just like a tree, eating just like a camel, and having sex just like dogs and hogs. Thus, he has been frustrated in fulfilling the specific purpose of human life.
The next prayer of the personified Vedas to the Lord concerns his entering into the different species of life. It is stated in the Bhagavad Gita, 14th chapter, that in every species and form of life, the spiritual part and parcel of the Supreme Lord is present. The Lord himself claims in the Gita that he is the seed-giving Father of all forms and species, who therefore must all be considered sons of the Lord. The entrance of the Supreme Lord into everyone's heart as Paramatma sometimes bewilders the impersonalists into equating the living entities with the Supreme Lord. They think both the Supreme Lord and the individual soul enter into the various bodies. So where is the distinction? Why should individual souls worship the Paramatma or Supersoul? According to them, the Supersoul and the individual soul are on the same level. They are one, without any difference between them. There is a difference, however, between the Supersoul and the individual soul, and this is explained in the Bhagavad Gita, 15th chapter, wherein the Lord says that although he is situated within the living entity in the same body, he is superior. He is dictating or giving intelligence to the individual soul from within. It is clearly stated in the Gita that the Lord gives intelligence to the individual soul, and that both memory and forgetfulness are due to the influence of the Supersoul. No one can act independently of the sanction of the Supersoul. The individual soul acts according to his past karma, reminded by the Lord. The nature of the individual soul is forgetfulness, but the presence of the Lord within the heart reminds him of what he wanted to do in his past life. The intelligence of the individual soul is exhibited like in fire and wood. Although fire is always fire, it is exhibited in a size proportionate to the size of the wood. Similarly, although the individual soul is qualitatively one with the Supreme Lord, he exhibits himself according to the limitations of his present body. But the Supreme Lord, or the Supersoul, is unlimited. He is said to be Eka Ras. Eka means one, and Rasa means mellow. The transcendental position of the Supreme Lord is that of eternity, bliss, and full knowledge. His position of Eka Ras does not change in the slightest when he becomes a witness and advisor to the individual soul in each individual body.
But the individual soul from Lord Brahma down to the end exhibits his spiritual potency according to his present body. The demigods are in the same category with the individual souls in the bodies of human beings or in the bodies of lower animals. Intelligent persons, therefore, do not worship different demigods who are simply infinitesimal representatives of Krishna manifest in conditioned bodies. The individual soul can exhibit his power only in proportion to the shape and constitution of the body. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, however, can exhibit his full potencies in any shape or form without any change. The Mayavadi philosophers' thesis that God and the individual soul are one and the same cannot be accepted, because the individual soul has to develop his power according to the development of different types of bodies. The individual soul in the body of a baby cannot show the full power of a grown man, but the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, even lying on the lap of his mother as a baby, could exhibit his full power by killing Putana and other demons who attacked him. Thus, the spiritual potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is said to be ekaras, or without change. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, therefore, is the only worshipable object, and this is perfectly known to persons who are uncontaminated by the modes of material nature. In other words, only liberated souls can worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Less intelligent Mayavadis take to the worship of the demigods, thinking that the demigods and the Supreme Personality of Godhead are on one and the same level. The personified Vedas continued to offer their obeisances. Dear Lord, they prayed, after many births, those who have actually become wise take to the worship of your lotus feet in complete knowledge. This is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita, wherein the Lord says that after many, many births, a great soul or Mahamatma surrenders to the Lord, knowing well that Vasudeva Krishna is the cause of all causes. The Vedas continued, as already explained, since the mind, intelligence, and senses have been given by us to us by God, when these instruments are actually purified, there is no alternative but to engage them all in the devotional service of the Lord. A living entity's entrapment in different species of life is due to the misapplication of his mind, intelligence, and senses in material activities. Various kinds of bodies are awarded as a result of a living entity's actions, and they are created by the material nature according to the living entity's desire. Because a living entity desires and deserves a particular kind of body, it is given to him by the material nature, under the order of the Supreme Lord.
In Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, it is explained that under the control of superior authority, a living entity is put within the semen of a male and injected into the womb of a particular female in order to develop a particular type of body. A living entity utilizes his senses, intelligence, mind, and so on in a specific way of his own choosing, and thus develops a particular type of body within which he becomes encaged. In this way, the living entity becomes situated in different species of life, either in a demigod, human, or animal body, according to different situations and circumstances. It is explained in the Vedic literature that the living entities entrapped in different species of life are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. The Mayavadi philosophers mistake the living entity for the Paramatma, who is actually sitting with the living entity as a friend. Because the Paramatma, the localized aspects of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the individual living entity are both within the body, a misunderstanding sometimes takes place that there is no difference between the two. But there is a definite difference between the individual soul and the supersoul, and it is explained in the Varaha Purana as follows. The Supreme Lord has two kinds of parts and parcels. The living entity is called Vibhinaksha, and the Paramatma, or the plenary expansion of the Supreme Lord, is called Svanksha. The Svanksha plenary expansion of the Supreme Personality is as powerful as the Supreme Personality of God in Himself. There is not even the slightest difference between the potency of the Supreme Person and that of His plenary expansion as Paramatma. But the Vibhinaksha parts and parcels possess only a minute portion of the potencies of the Lord. The Narad Pancharatra states that the living entities, who are the marginal potencies of the Supreme Lord, are undoubtedly of the same quality of spiritual existence as the Supreme Himself, as the Lord Himself, but they are prone to be tinged with immaterial qualities. Because the minute living entity is prone to be subjected to the influence of material qualities, he is called Jiva, and sometimes the Supreme Personality of Godhead is also known as Shiva, the all-auspicious one. So the difference between Shiva and Jiva is that the all-auspicious personality of Godhead is never affected by the material qualities, whereas the minute portions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are prone to be affected by the qualities of material nature.
The supersoul within the body of the particular living entity, being a plenary portion of the Lord, is worshipable by the individual living entity. Great sages have therefore concluded that the process of meditation is designed so that the individual living entity may concentrate his attention on the lotus feet of the supersoul form Vishnu. That is real samadhi. The living entity cannot be liberated from material entanglement by his own effort. He must therefore take to the devotional service of the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, or the supersoul within himself. Sridhara Swami, the great commentator on Srimad Bhagavatam, has composed a nice verse in this reward, the meaning of which is as follows: My dear Lord, I am eternally a part of you, but I have been entrapped by the materialistic potencies, which are also an emanation from you. As the cause of all causes, you have entered my body as the super soul, and I have the prerogative of enjoying the supreme blissful life of knowledge along with you. Therefore, my dear Lord, please order me to render you loving service so that I can again be brought to my original position of transcendental bliss. Great personalities understand that a living entity entangled in this material world cannot be freed by his own efforts. With firm faith and devotion, such great personalities engage themselves in rendering transcendental loving service to the Lord. That is the verdict of the personified Vedas. The personified Vedas continued, Dear Lord, it is very difficult to achieve perfect knowledge of the absolute truth. Your Lordship is so kind to the fallen souls that you appear in different incarnations and execute different activities. You appear even as a historical personality of this materialistic world